We created this presentation to attempt to capture the most important parts of the life of my brother, Seth Allen Miller. Seth was born in 1981 in Visalia, California. As if being assigned a protector at birth, Seth shared the womb with his much smaller twin sister, Michaela. Growing up in a family that moved often throughout much of the San Joaquin Valley, Seth utilized a strong heart, compassion, and an active sense of humor to make the best of being the new kid time and time again. Finding bullies as often as friendships, Seth learned to seek connections with everyone, regardless of superficial factors or past slights. Seth also felt a deep connection to nature, both as a farmer's grandson working in the fields to earn summer allowance, and also as a child living in the Sequoia National Forest. During and after his time at Mount Whitney High School, Seth carried the pioneer spirit with him with great pride. Seth began playing football and wrestling at Visalia Middle School and continued through his 4 years at MWHS. He'd one day be described as one of the best middle linebackers ever to play in the Central Valley by sports writers and coaches. But even more than playing on the team, Seth loved to cheer on his teammates and believed that a strong team spirit and cohesiveness would always defeat pure talent. He carried this with him later in life when he voluntarily coached youth football and wrestling. Near the end of his life, he coached a team of 10 to 12-year-old wrestlers in Germany. They lost nearly every match, and when asked if that bothered him, he replied, "I am happy that I learned about losing before I learned about winning. Being a good loser makes you the best kind of winner. I'm teaching these guys sportsmanship." Being the hardy middle linebacker for the Pioneers and the captain of the wrestling team did not prevent Seth from pursuing his love of singing. In the Pioneer Choir for 3 years and men's glee for all 4 years, Seth saw choir as a wonderful chance to share his love of music with his fellow students. While singing in the locker room and while out skateboarding with friends, Seth drew the unlikeliest of characters to join up in choir and thus encourage music in all those around him. Seth believed that it was his duty to protect those that were being treated unfairly. Seth wrote as a teenager, "One of the things that I can't ignore is to see weaker and less fortunate people getting hurt. There's something inside of me that has to stop it and help them to feel better." His kindness and compassion were visible to all those around him. Notably, in a letter from his commanding officer from the Army European Forces, Seth was described as a young man much older than his years, looked to as a leader and a constant by all those around him, young and old. Seth decided to join the Ultimate Pro Sports Team, the U.S. Army, in 2007. Seth's unique set of character and physical attributes suited him naturally to the armed forces. At basic training, his drill sergeant quickly observed that Seth would fall behind to help the weaker soldiers, encouraging them and pushing them to keep going. He promptly became a platoon leader. After being named the honor graduate for his advanced individual training class, he was then stationed at Grafenwehr, Germany, to await deployment to Iraq. Now a member of the 23rd Ordnance Ammo Dogs, their team motto fits Seth well: "We do it all." Seth quickly became recognized as the go-to guy for the unit by both his fellow soldiers and commanders. Even at the moment of his death, Seth was assisting another soldier to help her finish up a training task. Because of his character, achievement, and willingness to support fellow soldiers, Seth was promoted 3 times in less than 1 year and given the Army Achievement Medal and the Army Commendation Medal. A pioneer was an ordinary person who was driven to do the extraordinary, to find their place in the world. Seth was a true pioneer, just doing his job, driving forward and taking care of others at the same time. People around him could be focused and peaceful, because they believed he'd be there to protect and look out for them. Seth would never have wanted to be an example of greatness, but he would want to encourage others to look at that pioneer spirit, that pioneer pride, as a way to make it in this world and draw out the very best in others. We created this presentation to attempt to capture the most important parts of the life of my brother, Seth Allen Miller. Seth was born in 1981 in Visalia, California. As if being assigned a protector at birth, Seth shared the womb with his much smaller twin sister, Michaela.